So I'm continuing the second part of it because I was cooking some pasta and my timer went off, so I had to run to turn off the excuse me, stove. I did go to the urgent care, so I'm okay. Even though it sounds like my cough is really, really bad. Even though I lost a little bit of my train of thought, but I do remember I was talking about Joe Dispenza's thing, how actually the exact topic I forgot because there's a lot of things I try to remember, but I think it'll come to me. But one interesting thing was as I went and I was actually waiting for the pasta to get done a little more, and I was there's like 5 more minutes needed, and I just stood there and I was doing the mindfulness practice, meaning I was trying to smell, I was trying to hear the sound and feel the ground under my feet, which is something generally we don't do. So it reminded me as we practice, then over and over and over, when you keep practicing, it becomes a second nature. Actually, speaking of that, now I remember what I was talking about. If you want to experiment about the thought, how a thought becomes a reality, a belief, if you want to attract something, keep saying it, because every word has an energy. Keep saying it from different channels, some things that I hear, and self-help gurus, because all of this ties into, if you believe in God, if you believe in the universe, or you believe in this law of attraction thing, affirmation, if you keep affirming something for months, and sometimes they say for our mind it takes about 21 to 60 days to form a new habit. And when we're thinking about belief is belief forms. It takes longer than that to form a new belief, especially when we're in our midlife, because the point is that the belief that was formed, that we thought about for years. So 40 days is also not going to be enough to unlearn that belief or to break that belief. But if you keep doing it over and over and over and over, 6 months or a year, it absolutely has to change, because our brain is like a program, how they would say, and you can train the brain. The way Joe Dispenza would say is, like when you are thinking to train your mind and your body is, it's almost like how you would train your dog. Some people might find it a little offending to hear it like that, but in a way that's what it is. Our body is our subconscious mind. Like when we drive a car or do something with our body, like when I'm picking up this coffee cup, it's a green tea cup and drinking, I'm not thinking from my head that, okay, I need to pick up with my hand to pick up this cup and drink. My body knows how to do it because I've been doing it for years and years and years. Now, all of a sudden, this is a random example, instead of my right hand, I always want to pick it up with my left hand. For the first few weeks, it will seem really inconvenient because I haven't done that ever. And when I keep doing it for a few months, it don't seem as inconvenient, but I still might find it easy enough to do with my right hand. But after a year, even 6 months later, it will become a normal thing, and after a year I might find it even more comfortable to pick it up with my left hand instead of right hand. This is, of course, random example, but that goes with our belief system that nothing in the world uh, has a limit other than the limit that we put in our mind. Either it's a job, it's a manifesting a house or a car or a relationship or even money that they say. The limitation that we put in our mind is we ourselves. For somebody, $100,000 is a lot. For somebody, $100,000 is not much. Why is that? It is because the picture that they have in their mind, how they grew up, money is abundant or scarcity, right? And a lot of us, because we don't fall into that top 1%, the scarcity mindset is normal. And why do usually top 1% stays as top 1%? Because their abundant mindset towards money is always, they think it's just a natural thing. It's almost like how Mary Kate on her channel would say it's like water. You make it so obvious to the abundant thing in your life. Like if you're drinking water, you're not thinking that, okay, I have to save money to buy water, then I'll get to drink the water. It's more about, okay, I just gotta drink water. Obviously, I have fresh water, right? That type of thing. But there are people in the world who don't have fresh water and they have to struggle for that, and it's unfortunate. Not only water, even for food, people die without clean water and food. So you gotta be grateful that we have that. In Buddhism, there is this thing that there are three kinds of feeling, like pleasant, unpleasant, and neutral. Excuse me. And the neutral feeling, they say we can change it to pleasant feeling. These are neutral feeling that we have the water, we had the green tea I wanted to drink, I have that. There's a neutral feeling, but this can be turned into a pleasant feeling that I'm fortunate enough to do it when I think like that. So it's all in our mind, how the story that we tell ourselves, and we are the author of the stories. A lot of time in our life, the reason we feel upset or sad about somebody else is because when some unpleasant situation happens, the story that we tell ourselves is, okay, that person created this for me, that person made me unhappy. But if we just change the thinking that it is not personal, I'm living an observer's life, I won't blame, I won't judge, I won't criticize. These are the three things so important. No blaming, no judge, no passing judgment, no criticizing, but living an observer's life, like as if we are learning. We are here in this world. Every experience is learning, and the hardest ones are the ones that teaches us. Because if life is easy, we are in our comfort zone, we're not going to learn anything. And in this book, I was reading a part where they talked about, we have to always keep practicing, either if it's mindfulness or prayer or believing in God, some higher power or something where we can turn into when situation becomes dire. Because when things are good, we are not seeking for any additional help. It's easy, but then things can switch in a minute, right? It's a cycle. Good and bad continues in a cycle. And during the good times, if we don't practice, the bad times becomes unbearable, because our mind, it's that 95% subconscious and 5% conscious, and this is all by default. It's always going bad, and by default, not by default, but whenever we are aware, we are conscious, we try to stay positive, speak positive, have more patience, and that's why we got to keep trying so that our mind doesn't go in that autopilot. For me, these videos, these are one my anchor points. Prayer is another, and thankfully I have some um, friends who are my support system. So um, I pray with them, so that helps. Something that we do on a consistent basis to stay in this path is important, because even on a normal day, some days can be harder than the others, and those days sometimes we ourselves can push it hard enough, and then we need people to pull us out from that ditch. It's so important to build that support system, and sometimes just um, help others. Last night, a friend of mine, I was reaching out to her. I know at her work she was having a little tough time in the last couple of weeks, and I reached out yesterday to ask her how she is doing, and she was feeling that she's not feeling that well because the problem is still continuing. And then without sharing too much personal details, then I was able to help her to focus on something good that is happening at her workplace, the people she's helping. And then she said, yeah, I'll just keep focusing on that, the good impact she's making on those people's lives. And sometimes that's what happens when we are in it. It's hard for us to negate this 95% of subconscious, because it's huge. It's like an oversized load. Like, when you're on the road, it's an oversized load, and this is probably a bicycle. I don't know. This is like a random thing came to my mind. Like, okay, oversized load and a bicycle, not even a bike, not even motorcycle, or not even a sedan, but it is like a bicycle, and this is a wide load truck. So who is gonna win? Normally, this is always gonna win, but there's this story about the bunny and the turtle, right? So if the bunny keeps going, eventually it reaches to the point, and the turtle, the other way, the bunny keeps jumping and thinks that it can reach, but the turtle is what making the progress little by little, and it reaches to the destination faster. So same thing, I think the turtle here is the bike and the bicycle. So it's just a little progress every day we have to make, and even if it's not every day, every week, every other week, every month, little progress towards positivity, towards goodness, towards kindness, it all adds up and eventually helps us to be a better person. It helps us to spread peace, positivity, love, patience, kindness, all of that, and forgiveness, and looking for positive in every situation, because if we don't practice it, it's not going to be in our mind. So it's so important to practice these things. I know I talked about a lot of random things today. And from this book, I also learned, I was talking about that too. I remember Thich Nhat Hanh talks about love is understanding. I think love is also patience. And when I was reading this book, why it came to my mind also because my daughter Alice, she's 8 years old. Many of you who come and watch these videos often, because I talk about her a lot. So yesterday she needed to take a shower in the evening, but she would not want to take a shower. She wanted to take a bath. I went after her for 45 minutes. She was watching a show, it was a cartoon show, not a bad show. But then it was getting late, and I just kept telling her, Alice, you gotta take a shower, you gotta take a shower. And then she went to take a bath, which usually takes much longer than the shower. But we have a schedule for her to so that she gets enough sleep, so that she's not cranky in the morning before going to school. So by the time she went for a shower, for the bath, was close to when it's time for her to wind down and go to bed and stuff like that. So just for a second, I knew that I went to autopilot, but I was glad that I was able to catch myself within like seconds, less than a minute. And I reminded myself that it's not a big deal, right? In a grand scheme of things, that's not a big deal. And that needed more patience from me, because that's not that every day she does that. It's like one time she did that. And so when I love her, when I talk about loving my daughter unconditionally, I figured that it's the patience. And when we want to spread love, peace, and positivity in the world, understanding, yes, that's important, but I think a big part of love is patience, because even if you consider loving a partner, a lot of the things when two people stay under the same roof, people don't see things similarly, because people don't have, no two people are same. So the thought process around certain things will be different, will be very different. And that requires a lot of patience, because the understanding itself needs patience, because if we don't have enough patience, we won't even care or bother to understand where the other person is coming from. So that's a realization I had this morning as I was reading a few pages of this book. They're very simple books. Thich Nhat Hanh, How to Love. He has a how-to series, I think 10 or 11 books. This is How to Love, and there's How to Relax, How to Smile, a lot of different things and how-tos, and they're very, very simple books. So yeah, I think I'm gonna do some quick mantra and then do intention setting and visualizing. I might go to the gym quickly, because I might have gone earlier in the week only once. So it's important that I go to the gym. Anyway, trust in God. Speak positive, uplifting words, love, harmony, patience. Stay in the present moment, be kind, forgive. For positivity in all situations, let go. Let go. Stay resilient, strong. Keep going, persevere. Okay, I hope you have a wonderful Friday and the weekend, and I will make a video again probably tomorrow morning, unless I make any short video later in the day.